Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 10th of April 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Well, GFC, COVID, now the Trump tariffs, it's all happening at the moment. So what should we do now? It's a bit of a difficult one, but I'm going to go through a little bit for you today. One of the fundamental truths of trading is that anything can happen. I mentioned that to you last week, and sure enough, it's happened this week. We've seen down, we've seen up, extraordinary moves. So trying to make sense of the current trading ranges, trading behaviour, is really nigh on impossible. So the objective is to stick to your knitting, and that will keep you safe. So in my instance, I have no stock picks have come up the last couple of weeks, so I haven't entered anything, taken a few out, and that's my position at the moment. It may change next week, but that's where we're at. So throughout my 47 years of trading markets, I've noticed certain traits of consistently successful traders that underpin their trading. They expect little, they are humble, they have great perspective, they hold their poise under fire, and follow a system they believe in. The system is infallible to the extent that it has the ability to generate positive returns, the name of the game, throughout all markets. So that's the traits that they have. Most of them stay cool under fire, which at the moment is what we've got to do, and just let things develop until we get the signals basis our trade plan. Okay, so let's go and have a look at some trend intensity ratings now, see where we're at, what's changed. Not a lot's changed. I know the markets went up, went down, gold went up, went down. It's all a bit went down, went up. It's all a little bit extraordinary at the moment. So here's what I've got from last week. Friday, we've got some miners there. Capricorn still there, Gold Road, RRL, Evolution, Proesis, and Northern Star, which you can see there is making some all-time highs there and looking pretty interesting. Some pretty big volumes there going through. Momentum's been good. So apart from those 5 stocks in the mining sectors, we have the industrials, Coles, Medibank Private, Telstra, and A2M. Now, amazingly enough, compared to a lot of the other stocks are doing, seeking new lows, these ones are seeking new highs. So, it's a weird thing in the stock market, but it happens. So that's why we focus on these individual situations rather than the market in general. It can do what it wants at the moment. I'm really not too worried about that. So we just go along and do our own thing. Trend intensity, our stock pick count was down 10 this week, so we did lose some more stocks last week, primarily taking profits off the table. A couple of small losses there, but that's the name of the game. So we whittled our count back right to 21 stocks of 158, so not that many, but you can see those top 10 there, there's still a few in there. And we've got 3 ETFs of the 26 at the moment, so not a lot there. Okay, so let's now get into the overseas markets and see what they're telling us. The Dow Jones, well, as you can see, they're up and down. Pretty extraordinary moves we saw last night. So trying to make head or tail, this is quite a difficult thing. Ultimately, the market's a lot lower than it was a few weeks ago. So we've had some fairly heavy selling in here. So the trend is really down here at the moment, despite what we saw last night. So things can change at the nod of a head or a flick of a coin with Trump around. So we just have to be a bit careful at the moment. Probably wait for things to normalise a little bit. But anyway, that's the way it is. The Nasdaq and the S&P are both the same. Fallen down, big rally last night, enormous thing. Still hasn't put a huge dent in the move down we've seen. And again with the S&P, it's the same. It's fallen off the cliff and tried to rally back, and we'll just have to see what happens at the end of the week. It could be down next week, tomorrow. It could be up again. I don't really know. So that's where we are with those things. So our market as well, as I said before, we've got now broken the nexus of high highs and high lows and is now falling. We're looking for support in this one here. I mean, who knows where it's going to come in at. We've got sort of 7,000 down here. We've got sort of 6,400 down there. But we just let this play out until it wants to stop, and then the opportunities will start coming on some of our stock picks. So that's the ASX 200. Gold, now I know it rallied again last night. I don't think it's been totally updated this from last night, but generally the move is up. Still trending high. Gold, everything looks fine. Volume's been good. We saw a bit of selling there. It was hit the market, so that's a bit of a shot across the bow, but we'll just wait to see how that develops. Everything else is pretty good for gold. Copper, well, a disaster. It made a new high and just came back so quickly. It's just full. The volume wasn't huge there. Momentum and price action was quite good, quite constructive, but we've now really set this new high level here up at R1 as the main level to get through if this is going to raise. So copper failed there. That's out for the moment. It's come back down and it's now testing support. Now we have a little support bubble here below the average. We've got a little uptrend line here from the lows and also a bit of horizontal support through there. So maybe a spot around there we might see a bit of support. Okay, and then Brent crude's fallen totally through its support finally, and the pressure just couldn't be sustained any longer, and the buyers just wilted and the sellers have overtaken them, and heavy selling's driving the market lower. So that's Brent crude. Okay, so that's the overseas markets for the moment. So I don't want to go into the local market, just focusing on what we've got at the moment. I'm not too worried about what a lot of stocks are doing. They're going all over the place. I'm not too interested in that. I'm really more interested in focusing on myself and how our trades are going and how we're going. So Brambles is the first one I've got here. It's just gone along pretty well, unaffected by it all. It's been a really slow motor up since we had the break high back in August last year, but it is holding good support, good volume here. This is just slowed down a bit, which is okay. It's still high in the range. This is a real sharp jump up then to sustain. That's not really truthful, but it's holding its own and it's above the average, and it's still running a trend intensity rate. So Bramble still seems to be in favour at the moment, and all is looking okay there. And we move on to Coles, which is another one that's made a new high recently, and we've been watching this one. As you know, it came back quite sharply there for a bit, but then it's rallied again, and it's making new highs again, and the volume's all looking pretty good, momentum's looking pretty good. Trend intensity rating is 10, so Coles, it seems to be back on track at the moment. And I see a little bit of a hint is happening at Woolworths, but we'll go have a look at that maybe a little bit further down the track, because there's nothing really there. Telstra's another one which has just gone gangbusters. It's really performed very well. If it's a great volume down here, momentum. Sometimes it just slides through the barriers and does its own thing. It is doing its own thing. It has new management. It's increased its dividend, its yield a little bit more. So I'm really looking at this area up here, 435, 440, as a key area for it to get through. We've already got into this trend here, and it's moving high quite nicely, but this really would be a feather in the cap if we get through this area here for Telstra at the moment. Okay, the other one, of course, is Regis. Just looking at some of those smaller goals, they're all doing pretty well. This has really been a great rally since it started when it broke above 240 there. It's been very well supported, great volume and great momentum there. So that still looks like it still wants to continue high, with the major resistance up there at $6 for Regis Resources. The opportunity, I think, at the moment this week is Linus. It's been a slow downtrend here, as we can see. A steady downtrend here. It's gone through an accumulation pattern here. It did try to break up, it failed. It's now trying again. We've got this sort of series of higher lows along here, which is constructive. I've now pegged in this $8 level as area to get through if we're going to break higher. We can see here, well, momentum's just turning into positive territory without setting the world on fire. We get a little bit of fresh buying occurring here, which is looking pretty interesting. So things are turning, things are looking better for Linus. But I'd really like to see it through $8 to see if we can get a good trend reversal confirmation for this most recent pattern that we've had with the high at $8 and this lower high, higher low here up around 630, 640. Okay, so that's Linus. That's the one, the opportunity, I think. The other one I looked at, Sigma Health, which has been still in one of our portfolios, our 5-stock portfolio, interestingly enough, and it's holding its own. It's doing really well. There's a nice steady volume through after a bit of a selling wave here. Momentum is still high in the range there, so it all still looks solid. Trend intensity rating is +7, so we'd love to see it make a new high. Now the high is up around here at $3.12. Okay, so that's where the high is. The current price is $2.93. So it looks pretty good, Sigma. All things look fine there. It's bounced out of the gates and done really well, and it's holding its own, so that's a good one. Genesis Minerals is another one, a bit like Capricorn. It's just gone through the roof since it made a new high back here. In February this year, going gangbusters, and we saw a sell-off here, and it's come right back again. It really is a dangerous market here, and I can't tell you what is going to happen. All I know is I'm going to keep moving my stop up and protect what I've got, because it could disappear in a flash, as we know. So that's certainly something that that I think about. So for Capricorn, it's really just about risk management, managing that stop loss. We've got a great rally through with great support. So it all looks good. Could well go high, could stop tomorrow. We don't really know. So we've got a good profit there and we need to protect it. Okay, the other one, of course, is Gold Road, which is under offer, which means we tighten the our stop loss right up, and it's sorry, that's Gold Road again. Just tighten the stop right up for Gold Road Resources. Takeovers aren't my thing. We'll just wait to see what happens there. Keep it nice and tight, and if it goes off, it goes off. We've got a good profit to protect there again. So it's all looking pretty good, Gold Road Resources. Okay, so that's mostly what I've got there. We know that there's a few of those industrials we're looking at. There's a few more sitting around in trend in the Stockradar trading centre. If you look at some of those neutral territories in the trend intensity rating zone, that's where you're going to find your opportunities. And there's quite a few sitting in there at the moment, coming in there. We're just waiting for their time to happen. Also, special mention goes to CBA and JB Hi-Fi. Their resilience is amazing. They're very, very good quality stocks, and they just don't seem to want to go down. But anyway, we're sort of out of those stocks at the moment. We've taken our profit and we're sort of standing aside because we're not too sure what will happen there. Will it go down further? Will it break to new highs? I don't know. We'll just wait and see. So the market is okay for us at the moment. There are just fewer trends available. I just follow my price rules. I just report the facts. It's sometimes difficult to be clear-minded and unbiased, but my process, my trend intensity rating, and also my clients help me to keep me on the straight and narrow. And that's how I do it, really. Just keep focused on those main things. So I simply go about my business as I always do, of qualifying trends and risk managing the trades to achieve an outcome. No change. I control what I do, not the market. At the moment, there are not many stock picks coming up, but that can change very quickly. So, okay, we just sit here and wait for the opportunities. So I just want to go through the portfolios again a little bit this week, just to keep you updated with what's going on so you understand how they work. Not a lot of change here, although we've lost a couple in the conservative there. We lost one stock there that's gone from 4 to 3, and also the Energizer 10 from 5 to 4. Otherwise, the other ones stay the same. 2 here, 1 here and 1 here, and they're all doing pretty well. We're going to have a look at this portfolio in a second, as to what those two are and why this is still going higher, which is interesting in this market at the moment. So that's the portfolios. They're all doing pretty well, very, very well. Pretty happy with those. As I said to you last week, you've got 2 options there. You can follow one of the Stockradar 5-stock portfolios or 10-stock if you prefer, or you can start building your own from day one now and just have your own individual portfolio. That's how it works. I just take stock picks as they come up and I'll drop them off as they fall off, and that's how I do my portfolio. That's how it works. So they're the options for you if you want to come along and have a go at the portfolios. They're worthwhile. Okay, why is the 5-stock Energizer still going up? Well, it seems strange, but it is. The 2 holdings that have are Sigma and Evolution. Both are in qualified trends, and of course, the second part of that is we have high cash levels of 60%, which is earning interesting. So they're all adding a positive flow to the income and to the portfolio return there. So that's the 5-stock. The settings are solid. They're not always, and they're never perfect, or they are pretty perfect at the moment. But this is about getting it right more often than not, and the results will prove that. So the portfolios, again, where they have their good times and their bad times, and now it's a sweet spot which we've run into, and that's just great. There'll be some bad times ahead, no doubt, but we manage those as we can, knowing that in the long run we'll do fine. So we're in a situation now where cash balance is ready to deploy. We're just going to wait for the opportunities to arise. So we discussed the unusually low number of stock picks in all the portfolios and why that is. Well, really it's because there's no stock picks being generated and stops are going off. So we're in a negative market phase, and it's a very unusual situation to be this low on stock picks. But as it happens, the market's going down, so we're quite happy with that, as a lot of stocks are failing. So this negative market phase, now we wait for the process to generate new signals, as the process will move from the negative phase into a more positive phase. So it's just a cycle will continue on, and that's what happens basically for most of the time. So through all this haze and all this muddy waters and the tariff, the Trump thing, cool heads will make the cool decisions, and that's really where you've got to try and get to manage your portfolios if you're going to do that, because these things happen. This is a fact of life. So all these so-called black swan events are what moves markets, and hopefully they move them in the right way. and not always, but that's what we try and get to do. So what's happening at Stockradar? Well, so you can always take a free trial. Remember, check out our Premier Trading page, the Trading Centre. There's lots of opportunities in there, and there's much more on the website as well. So it really is about staying cool and letting the opportunities come to you now. Be prepared, be vigilant, be disciplined, stay in control with your trade plan, and you'll always be safe, and it'll keep you safe. Okay. So sometimes sitting in your hands is not a bad option. So let all the mud fly around us, and just sit here and just wait for your opportunities, and they'll come. Okay, so best of luck for the next week. As I said, the market, anything can happen, and it never changes, so who knows where we'll be next week. Certainly not where we expect to be. So watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks very much.